They ready.
Okay. Hello, my beautiful people. Don't mind me. I'm just quickly getting dressed. I'm gonna head out somewhere. Nothing too serious. I'm doing a little cash. But I wanted to quickly do this story, just because I owe you guys a story time, and it's been a little minute. I'm gonna be real with y'all, just so y'all know about this YouTube. I might not be consistent. I might not. I'm just gonna be real. And yeah, so let me just get into this story time. So this happened about last year, and it's actually a very interesting story. And like at the end of the story time, I'm most definitely gonna have a little dialogue with y'all, and I really want y'all to like DM me or whatever, and we can talk about this because I know a lot. I'm not the only woman that has experienced something like this before. But let me just get into it. This little story. Okay, so this happened last year, and it happened around this time. That's crazy. It happened around this time too. Like my birthday was coming up or whatever. So there was this guy. We're gonna call him a chef because he was a chef. He was like a celebrity chef, personal chef, whatever. Like yeah, cool, whatever. Him. He added me on Instagram. I didn't know this guy, but I saw we had a lot of mutual friends in common. So I added him back, and like he DM'd me. He was like, "Hey, what's up?" Like blase blase. So I was like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" This and that. And he liked some pictures of me or whatever, and I liked some pictures back, naturally. And so we just started flirting back and forth in our DMs. So then he was like, "Can I have your number?" And I'm like, I mean, he's cute. He's like, he about something. Yeah, you can have my number. Cool, whatever. And sidebar, one thing I can say is getting somebody's number is easy. It's keeping their attention and keeping the conversation going. That's the hard part. But whatever. I digress. So he, got my number. We started texting back and forth. Everything was cool. So he had like a birthday, and we was talking, and we was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Oh, that's your birthday, whatever. What you doing?" He was like, "Me and my homeboys were going out. This, woo woo." And he invited me out with them. I didn't feel comfortable going out with him and his homeboys. So I was like, "No, like I'm good or whatever. Like we just met. Like let's keep it chill." So one day me and him are like talking, okay? And girl, let me tell you, this man was like, "So when am I gonna see you?" And I was like, "Well, whenever you ask me on a date." Because I just feel like if you show that you're interested, why haven't you stepped up to ask me on a date? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, whenever you ask me on a date, then, we can meet up, we can link up. And I'm the type of person, like, it doesn't have to be an expensive date. Like, people think, like, oh, if I take a girl on a date, I gotta spend all this money, gotta spend a bag, this. That's what you men think, and that's not true. Like, I'm pretty simple. Like, I don't mind having like a coffee date, or we can go work out. We can go to the park and walk around and talk. We can, do something simple. Like, it doesn't have to be super romantic. It doesn't have to be super expensive. Like, it can be chill. Like, I just don't do that whole let's come to your house, you come to my house type of thing when we're first meeting. Like, no, I don't do all that. So, and also like just me being me. And like maybe one day I'll tell you guys that story. I just don't like people in my personal space. So if I ever invited you into my personal space, I mean, I really trusted you or thought that, things were different with you. But we're going to get to that story a little bit later. This is about this. So, yeah. So he was like, we can talk it up, this and da. So then like, a couple days later, he was like, let's go out to dinner. And I'm like, okay, like, where do you want to go? And I'm like, I like, I had to ask this because lately, and this is not just like men that I've met, but it's also like my guy friends who said that. So like, oh, well, I just feel like the first date we should go Dutch because you're not my girl. And I don't like that. I don't like that. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain to y'all. I don't like that. Like, I don't like the whole a man feels like if he's taking you on a date, then you gotta be his girl, or you gotta be, ready to bust it open. I don't like that. That bothers me about today's society, today's generation, today's dating or whatever. Like that bothers me. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, is this a date or like what is this? He's like, hell yes, a date. This and that. So another thing about me too, and a lot of people can witness this. Can I put this? I go on dates and it depends on my level of if I'm really feeling you or not. And this is like bad, and I hate saying this out loud, but I am a late person, okay? I can be on time for everything else. I'd be like early for work. I'd be early to hang out with my friends. But if I'm going on a date, I'm always typically late. Like there have been times where I've been an hour late on a date. That's bad, right? Like that's horrible. Like you probably be like, girl, I don't even want to go on a date with you no more. Like what? Like I actually feel bad when I do that to people because it's like that's not right. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not fair. But if I really like you, then like I might be on time, maybe like 15 minutes late, maybe 10, 5. But if I'm unsure about us and our interaction, I'm gonna be late. Like let's just be real. I'm just gonna be damn late. So he picked this restaurant here in Atlanta. It's called Port Calvin's, and I was like, okay, like this is a nice little restaurant. Okay, whatever. And my dude, like, he's a chef, so I'm like, I'm pretty sure he knows somebody that work here, whatever. So I get there, I pay for. Okay, so I pay for valet, and like I walk up there. He's like, "Oh, our table's not ready." Okay, cool. So like we order. Well, our table gets ready, of course, and like we're talking and we order. He's like, "Why don't we just like order 2 things and see what we like?" And like we both share it. So I ordered my leche drink, and we ordered like some type of like fried chicken with like I think it was lobster fried rice. No, he had lobster fried rice. It was something with it, whatever. You're gonna see pictures, y'all. But so everything was all good. One thing I do hate about some men is I guess they think that like them saying big, large numbers of money will make a girl more likely to like them. I don't know. But with or without a man, I'm always getting my bag. So that doesn't matter to me. Like, you can talk about money all day long, baby. Like, that don't mean nothing to me. Like, what does that mean to me? So he was like talking about like, oh, I just spent $53,000 here and I just made this. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, you own your own business. Like, you want to open a restaurant. Like, that's really nice. Like, that's cool. He was like, yeah, right now I got like a food truck, this and that. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Like, that's really neat or whatever. He's like showing me pictures of his food truck or whatever. I'm like, that's cool. Like that's really cool. And so he was like, I took it back to community, this and that, whatever. So everything was all good, and we having a really good night. We vibing. Like we're for real, like talking, like having fun. So I tell the waitress, like, it was his birthday, which his birthday was like maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever. And she brings him like a little birthday cake out, and we're talking and everything else. And like, it's time for us to go. Cause like we already finished eating, like we're done. And like we got outside and he was like, hey, like the night's still young. I really want to go to like a hookah lounge and stuff and just get some hookah. And I guess like I'm an Atlanta girl now. Cause baby, I love me some hookah. So I was like, yeah, sure, we can get some hookah. Like that's cool. Mind you, y'all, it was most definitely like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. And like I had to work. What I thought I was doing, don't know. So we get to the hookah place, and I have some hookah. We're getting drinks. He's like, let's get a section. I'm like, no, like, honestly, we shouldn't get a section because I'm not staying that long. Like, for real, I'm not gonna stay that long and whatever. So then, like, of course, like in the little lounge club area, like slow jams come on naturally. So slow jams going on. Like I'm. Okay, so like slow jams come on, you smoke your hookah, it's a whole vibe, okay? So, he got all close and he like holding me, and then he tried to whisper in my ear, and then he tried to kiss me on my neck. And I was like, all right, he being fresh. And then he kissed me, and like I kissed him back because I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And then I'm like, homeboy trying to fill me up in the club, y'all. No, we don't do that. That. So I was like, okay, well, I'm ready to go. Because at this point, I'm ready to go home. Like, I don't, no. And I had to work the next day, and it's already 11:30. Like, I'm ready to go home. So we go outside, and I'm like, okay, well, good night. He was like, well, can I talk to you, like, in my truck real quick? Because, like, it was loud at the restaurant. It was loud in the club. Like, we didn't get a chance to really talk. I'm like, okay, that's fine, cool. 30 minutes tops. I'm like, I gotta go home. I need to go to sleep. I gotta go to work tomorrow. So we get in his truck and everything's cool. He playing some little music or whatever. And like, we just talking. And next thing you know, like he trying to reach his hand underneath my dress. And I'm like, What are you doing? Whoa, calm down. And he was like, I just think that you fine. And like, I just this. And I'm like, thanks. Like, you know, but I'm not the type of girl, like, I'm not about to do anything with you in your car. Really? And I was like, and also like, we barely know each other. We're just trying to like catch a vibe. Like, I just, not the type. Like, I'm sorry. No. He was like, it's cool, this and that, da, da, da. So then he walks into my car, he opens my car door, and he leans over and he kisses me on my cheek. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet, cute, whatever. I get home. This man on FaceTime me. So I'm like, hello, like, what's up? And he was like, what you about to do? I'm like, oh, I'm about to take a shower. And he was like, oh, just prop the phone up and let me watch. Excuse me? Let you watch what? He was like, I'm trying to watch you, baby, this and that. I was like, no. I was like, boy, you're funny. I'm going to bed. So I hung up. So the next day, we texting, right? Everything was cool. We texting. And he was like, can I be real with you about something? I'm like, yeah, what's up? He said, I just think it's really interesting how women always getting a free meal out of a nigga. A free meal? I said, what do you mean? He was like, I mean, I take you out, I spent $200 on you, and you know, I couldn't even get none. What? I was like, wait a minute, pause. You think spending $200 on me is gonna get you some? What? I was like, baby, no. I was like, wait a minute, like, let's rewind. I was like, I just want to understand what this thought process. He was like, I'm just kind of tired of like taking girls out, they getting a free meal out of me, and I don't get nothing in return, or I don't even hear from her after that. I was like, well, number one, we're talking right now. Number two, $200 will not make me drop my panties. Like, no amount of money will make me drop my panties. Like, what? So I was like, wait a minute. I said, baby, my purses cost more than $200, period. I was like, and then also on top of that, I said, I'm not the type of girl. He was like, I just mean a prostitute would be a little more cheaper than taking a girl on a date all the time. First off, I want to know how you know how much a prostitute costs. Second off, baby, go get one of them. Go get a prostitute. Like, what are you doing? So then we were here back and forth. He was like, and then also it was my birthday and I'm taking you out. I said, you asked me on a date. If you don't want to ask me on a date, you shouldn't have said nothing. He was like, I mean, the only way I was going to see you is because you set the tone and the standard that I had to ask you on a date. I said, you could have said we're going Dutch. You could have picked a different restaurant. Like, you spent $200 means what to me? You're the one that picked the restaurant. You said you wanted to go there. And then also, you said you wanted to do hookah and get drinks afterwards. And oh, I forgot this part. When we was out getting drinks, baby, one of his homeboys popped up and he bought his homeboys some drinks too. So that $200 wasn't really on me. Okay. So he talking all that, yah, whatever. And I'm just sitting there looking at my phone because we're texting. And I was just really confused. So I talked to my mama. I was like, Mom, like, what? And my mom was like, oh no, like this and that. She said, ask him, does he want his fucking money back? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really not trying to curse on my story. Like, I promise you, I've been trying to hold the curse words in. So I text him, like, do you want your money back or something? Like, what's wrong, baby? Like, what's going on? He was like, I mean, I think it's fair if you just pay for your drink and your meal. Pay for my drink and my meal. I said, LOLs, well, how much is that, boo? Because obviously you hard up for some money. How much is that? He talked about, well, your food was this and your drink was that. So that's about like $50. I said, go ahead and send me your Cash App. So he sent me my Cash App and I cashed him $50. And like a lot of people be like, girl, I would have blocked his number. Like, boy, bye. But no, I did it. I sent him $50. I was like, you must really be hurting for money. But you over here talking about you just made this amount. And you just spent this amount. You did that. So after I sent him the $50, he texted me back. He was like, dang, like you got it like that. Like you real as hell. Like, dang, like I didn't think you was going to send my money back. I was like, first off, number one, I don't need to go on a date for no free meal. Number two, I got my own money. So if you would have told me like you had to pay for your own food, that'd have been cool. But I probably would never go on a date with you again. Like, why would you ask me on a date if you can't pay? Like, why are you asking women on dates? Number three, I'm not a prostitute. I'm not a hoe. I'm not anything like that. So you spend $200 on me don't mean jack-ish to me. Like, doesn't mean nothing. Doesn't mean a thing. Sorry, not happening. And number four, I said, it's just the principle of you making a big deal about you taking me out. I was like, no, I'm good. I don't want to go on another date with you. He was like, I mean, like, I would love to take you out again for us to talk. Like, this shows me a whole different side. And like, I'm really feeling you. Baby, he was blocked. period. Because I've noticed a lot of men have done this. Like, they get mad when you deny them access to your body, and they want to say like, well, I bought this, I spent this, I did that. Why do y'all feel so entitled to my body because you pay for a meal, or you take me out, or you buy me something? That does not equivalent to you having relations with me. Excuse me? So I guess I want to tell this story because some recent events just happened, but also because I just want, girls out there to know, like, you don't have to feel pressure to do nothing with none of these men, okay? They are entitled. Like, they feel like they're entitled to your body, entitled to your time, entitled to your emotions, all that. And together. But that's the end of my story time. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe this video. I promise you I have more videos to come. I'm gonna work on a schedule to get this together, but I don't want to just tell stories all the time. I want to do other things with y'all. So have a good one. Thank you.